TFLEV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle.
Is electrification really the future for big rig, heavy trucks? Well, this is why I'm here in Michigan to find out. What you see before you is a Class 8 International concept truck. It's fully electric, it's a prototype, it's a test bed of new technology, and I get to drive it. Yes, so come along. Let's take it for a drive and see exactly what it's made of. The team at International Trucks flew me out here to Michigan to experience this big rig, and I'm really excited because this is my first time actually behind the wheel of an electric semi-truck. It's based on the RH cab configuration, but of course this is a fully customized build. This is really a test bed for them. But from a side, I mean, it looks fairly normal. Have you noticed the giant batteries? Well, I'll explain those in just a second. This has a lift axle. It's a tandem axle setup, air suspension, of course, full air system. But here's the secret. Take a look at this. This is an electric drivetrain, basically an e-axle. This particular one is by Allison. It's actually a two-motor system driving the rearmost axle. So it's basically set up as kind of a 6x2 configuration just for testing. But this is between 500 and 600 horsepower. So this got a lot of power and torque, and I cannot wait to take it on this track. All right, let's get into the office, the driver's seat. The driver compartment here, once again, this is a concept truck. It's really standard. It hasn't been really modified for production at all. So the driving experience, at least for this ride, is going to be pretty standard. And I don't have a typical transmission. Often new trucks have stalks on the side of the steering column for automated manual transmissions. But here's just a push button system. There are no gears, electric motor in the back. So you select either, of course, neutral, drive, or reverse. Basically direct drive. There's a reduction gear within the motor housing. And here's a little indicator of my total battery percentage, 87%.
All right, dude, so I'm in the future now, right?
You are. This is our future demonstrator tractor.
Okay, so do I just kind of release the parking brake and put it in reverse in this case?
Exactly.
Okay. Reverse.
You're good to go.
I'm good. Let's check my mirrors. Alrighty, so this is my first time behind the wheel of this concept truck. So when did you guys create this?
So this truck's about a year and a half old, and it was a technology demonstrator, kind of looking into the future of what we're doing from a tractor perspective.
Okay. And did you consider, I mean, all the technologies? I mean, this is a battery electric platform with this concept prototype. Did you look into other things like hydrogen fuel cells, etc., etc.?
Yeah, exactly. So a hydrogen truck is another form of producing the energy, correct?
Right.
So an e-axle, a fully electrified, can easily be converted into a hydrogen fuel cell truck.
Yeah.
The technologies are very similar. You're still going to need a propulsion system. You will need some level of battery to hold energy.
Yeah.
So this technology will lead into some of the fuel cell products that we're preparing for the future
as well. Yeah, makes sense. All right. So the first thing I'm noticing is that it's just quiet.
It's an excellent ride, isn't it? We're sitting here having a great conversation, no problems, no yelling, not raising our voices. It's
no, and I had to quiet down the HVAC system, the air conditioner, because that's basically the noise I was hearing.
Yeah, and we're driving bobtails, so it's not really the optimal driving experience for a tractor,
it's
right?
light. Yeah, it needs weight. It needs to be loaded, right?
But it is fun.
There's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Now, how does regen happening here? I mean,
so The regen on this is fairly light because we're running in bobtail mode. We don't
Okay.
want to have spin out, so we've dialed it back significantly for a bobtail type of situation.
But you've been testing this truck with a trailer. And
We have, and we'll run it against our diesel products, and we've had it at our proving grounds, and it's been great. Yeah, it outperforms diesel from a power and performance perspective, every way, shape, and form.
And this truck, of course, is a tandem axle, but in this concept, only the rear axle is powered.
Yeah, so we did a 6x2 on this one. When we go to production, we'll have a 6x4, a 4x2, potentially a 6x2 in the future. This is fairly a lower seller for us on a traditional, but we did one powered axle for complexity integration standpoint.
Yeah, for the prototype.
Yes, sir.
The layout and length and width of this truck is standard. Under the hood normally would be a gigantic turbo diesel engine. Of course, that's gone, removed. Under here, there's some controllers and, of course, wiring. Here is the power source. This is the battery system that International has set up for this concept truck. It's basically kind of almost a U-shape or a W-shape battery, and there is two of them. They call them kind of mega packs or mega batteries. You see how it starts here where the fuel tank would be normally for diesel? It goes between the frame rails and then the other side. So it kind of hugs the frame. And there's two of them, one here and one here. So this configuration can carry about 400 kilowatt hours, maybe upwards of 500 kilowatt hours of battery total capacity. So if you're a diesel guy, that's probably not going to take you very, very far on a long haul drive. But for local deliveries, this would be just fine. Once again, this is not a production truck yet. This is just a test bed.
Well, there, I can hear the motor
You
a
can.
little bit.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a whistle.
You do. I think you're hearing the motor and some inverter whine a little bit too.
Yeah, and at higher speeds, it's kind of wind noise. I mean, eventually,
you start
right?
getting some wind noise.
This is this is quite remarkable because this is a huge vehicle.
Yeah, and so what we found is the barrier to entry for drivers is so much lower on this. We're seeing folks that would never consider driving a tractor trailer as a profession starting to be more interested with this type of vehicle.
Just because kind of, it's not as intimidating, maybe?
It's not intimidating.
Yeah.
It's super, super simple. We have a lot of folks that get out of this during a ride and drive situations like it's just a big golf cart. It's a little bit more than that.
Well,
you're towing 80,000 pounds.
Yeah, your gross combined weight is really high.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, CDL is required,
Of
right?
course.
For the weights and also air systems, air brakes.
Yes, sir.
That a truck like this would have.
We have a very aggressive regen strategy, which
Yeah.
is our customers are excited about. And once you've driven it, it's so comfortable. And it's when you're in a city center, you're barely touching the brakes, the friction brake side of it. So really great from an energy standpoint and efficiency standpoint. And the drivers particularly love it. They really do. Great feedback.
And what I'm thinking about this kind of long haul application or longer range driving, I'm thinking about Colorado, where I'm from, because you have the kind of the power in the electric motors, right?
Yes.
Which is quite significant. So you can climb grades probably quicker maybe than you currently can with a diesel. Would you say?
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have the any kind of air density issues that you would with a standard diesel or combustion engine. So the power is always there. It's always consistent.
And then you're regenerating on the way down.
And you're regenerating on the way down.
when you're fully loaded, actually that helps you, right?
Exactly.
Because momentum.
You're putting that power back.
Yeah.
Right here, you see this truck without its trailer. Yes, it's a bobtail configuration right now. It's running empty. But of course, the team at International has been testing it with full loads in different configurations. So yeah, next time I see this truck, hopefully it will be more in the production ready state, and hopefully it'll be in Colorado where we can do an Ike Gauntlet, serious world's toughest towing test with one of these electric rigs. They incorporated the charger port right here on the driver's side, which is fairly convenient. As you could see, this is level 3 capable, basically direct current DC fast charging. This is going to be a huge thing for production, because let's say you have 500 kilowatt hours on board or more, you want to be able to replenish that energy fast. So charging speeds will have to go higher, and infrastructure will have to change, because driving up this big rig into a current stall at the parking lot is not going to work. It's going to have to be done at the truck stop with a pull-through situation. So hopefully infrastructure will eventually get there, so more of these trucks can do some of those trips, deliver stuff.
So what do you think in the future? I mean, range is huge. I think the main comment on this episode will be, you know, what about diesel range? You can't match diesel range or kind of the energy density of a diesel fuel, right?
Right, and so we're working with our customers on that. This isn't for everybody today. We're not there yet. The battery technology is not there. We're really focusing on regional haul applications, point-to-point applications where there's charging opportunities. The long haul 400 to 1,000 mile truck driver, this is not going to be part of their world for quite some time until a robust charging infrastructure is in place. And there's a lot of folks working on that, but we're years away from that. So the customers that are looking at these right now have very set routes. And again, we have customers that come into our facilities all the time. We're going to continue to make diesel engines. We're launching new powertrains on the traditional side that we see have a long tail still in certain applications.
Absolutely. So what would be a comparable diesel? I mean, you have the X15s, you know, the big diesels.
Yeah, so from a power standpoint, this will outperform an X15 in our large diesels. But in this type of application, or most of our customers are on more of a 13-liter type of platform for a regional haul.
Okay.
So from a technology perspective, this has a demonstrator e-axle in it. It's a 2-speed, 2-motor system, 500 to 600 horsepower. But we're still evaluating, right? This is an Allison system. We're looking at many of other suppliers, and we're actually looking at some new suppliers for some of our technologies too. This is opening the doors up for many different supply chain improvements, growth. We're seeing folks enter our supply chain that would not necessarily be in the commercial vehicle space for different type of components. So I think it's an exciting time for that side of our business too.
Well, you know what? It picks up speed.
It's good, isn't it?
it's just, dude, that was 65.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is carrying, what, 400 kilowatt hours?
400, this is about 400 to 500, today. In production, we'll be probably slightly above that. We haven't announced what we're looking at yet because we're still in development.
Okay.
Big announcements coming later into next year.
Okay, I gotcha.
And of course, a truck like this, an electrified big rig, is not for everybody. RH, the cab this is based on, stands for regional haul. So local delivery is not super long distance driving. And I gotta talk to you guys about competition, because many other manufacturers are in a race to electrify big rigs and electrify medium duty big trucks and the rest of it. Everybody's in the space. There is, of course, a Daimler Freightliner, there's Volvo, Tesla has been trying to get a truck to production for many, many years, and others. So yeah, the space is hot, and we'll see who is first to market actually. Okay, Jason, so we had fun at the track.
It's a great day.
But this is what I'm trying to understand. There's different charging options, and the bigger the vehicle, generally the faster you want to charge,
right?
So can you show me like what's available for customers?
Yeah, so we recommend a lot of charging. If there's overnight charging, there's fast charging, and all kinds of things. So AC is kind of the foundational, AC level 2.
Okay.
On commercial vehicles, AC level 1, not even going to happen. Not going to work.
Unless you want to wait 2 weeks to charge
Exactly. We're not going to wait 2 weeks. So we're starting AC level 2, and we're not starting at low powered AC level 2. We're starting at high powered AC level 2. So the highest powered AC level 2 you can get in North America today is a 19.2 kilowatt AC level 2.
Okay. So that's that box.
Still an overnight charge though. That's that box.
Yeah, so that would be what, 10 to 12 hours-ish on the EMV, for example.
Yeah, the
Is that
EMV,
fair to say?
yeah, about 8 to 8 hours on the EMV.
Okay.
Yep, from 0 to 100.
So overnight.
Overnight charging.
Okay.
And then once you get into DC, there's a huge range of DC, so that's the next level up. So we have a couple of options here. We have a 30 kilowatt unit, still an overnight charger, a little faster, a little more efficient. The unit over here is a 24 kilowatt wall box. Another unit we're installing a significant amount of these at our customers right now.
And these are meant to be mobile as well?
We can do them either mobile, we can do them wall mount, and our customers are accepting them. We just did a very large deployment in California with over 40 of these in one site.
Okay. So you help customers kind of decide and choose, what's best for them, right?
Yeah, when we're looking at the total vehicle, we're looking at what their routes look like, and this will help determine what kind of charging they need.
Okay, and then there's bigger guys.
There's the big guys. So
okay.
This is a mid-size guy in our world now. So this is a 125 kilowatt unit on
okay.
And this will charge at our EMVs and our school buses towards the top of the charge speeds. Still about an hour to 2 hours charging, depending on state of charge.
From 0 to 100,
yeah,
per se.
So this can go 20 to 80% in about an hour.
Okay.
So it's clipping, and it charges very fast. We're happy with it, and that's great for those type of applications. But the RH, which you drove today, we're going to have to go faster.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
So we're going up to fastest charge rate you're seeing commercially available today at like an Electrify America station or an EVgo station, 350 kilowatts.
Right.
We're going to be heading in that direction very fast.
Okay.
And everyone's like, well, what's next? How do we get to that long haul type of application? Yeah. You're looking at 1 megawatt. And that is being feverishly worked on, and in the next few years, you'll start seeing it.
So these are big deployments. I mean, lots of cooling. I mean,
correct.
These things heat up.
Yes.
Not just the batteries themselves and the vehicles, but actually the chargers.
Correct.
And the supply.
So the chargers themselves have giant liquid cooling stations on them. 125 kilowatts, 150 kilowatts, not even liquid cooled cables, but once you get past that, the cables themselves and the charging handles, all liquid cooled. So the entire system is liquid cooled to keep it cool through the charging processes.
Yeah. Well, sweet. So that's what will be needed for that, the RH, kind of the regional truck, and also even beyond it, right?
Yes.
And then there is this, for customers, for example, in the field, working on a job site, this is kind of a mobile unit, or
correct.
What else can this be used for?
Yeah, so mobile unit, temporary unit, emergency unit, or a demonstration unit. So we have a lot of customers that want to try our trucks right now. They're just getting their toe dipped in the water from an electrification standpoint. We are letting them borrow this for, let's say, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, but not much longer than that. This isn't a long-term solution. But what this is good for is if you have a customer that doesn't want to do a power upgrade on a site and they're just getting at the beginning phases, they can try it out, bring this in for those 2 weeks, run the vehicle, no problems.
So this is 30 kilowatt.
Yes, sir.
Capable, and how many trucks can you charge, or how long?
We can charge for about 76 hours on this size tank. This is propane. We can also run it off of natural gas. So if they do have a natural gas line available, we can hook it up to that too.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I hope you guys got a good sense for this. Definitely, this big rig has enough torque and power, even from a single powered axle setup. And I think, of course, power is not going to be an issue. I love the fact of that regen braking going down the mountain or down the hill will be very helpful. So power is not a problem. What these trucks will cost will have to be considered. Of course, they're going to be more expensive. In the future, we'll have to check that out. But price of electricity is way cheaper than diesel right now. And also maintenance costs on a rig like this will be lower than a comparable diesel. So there's positive and negatives. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, go back to alltfl.com for everything automotive and brand new concept truck drives like this.